You want to learn how to program. I mean, why else would you click on this video? Let's be real. Programming looks terrifying. Like, people just open a terminal and suddenly they're typing like they're being held hostage. And there are like a billion tutorials out there that go, oh, just copy this, don't worry about this, ignore that error. You blink and then suddenly they have compiled fucking Minecraft. And you learn absolute fuck all. And then 8 hours later, you're just sitting there like the fucking failure you are, just completely defeated and browsing the IKEA catalog to buy more shark plushies. And you know, fair enough. Me too, bro. Been there, done that. If only there was a tutorial that actually explains the basics. Well, don't worry, because I already went through the 3 years to get my programming's diploma, so you don't have to. Did I mention I'm wearing tie-highs right now, so I'm like hyper qualified, since trans people are canonically the best programmers. Anyway, this is a trans girl's guide to programming. Now, before we start, I just want to state what you can expect here to learn, since I don't want anyone here to waste your time. Again, huge disclaimer here, this series will be purely the basics, so if you already know these, do not expect too much. But you're always welcome to, you know, stick around, because, you know, I really want those yummy views. So, what can you expect from this, I don't even know what the fuck this is. Well, here you go. What you will learn here, how to use VS Code, writing basic code and hopefully understanding basic code, and making small things. It's all about the small things, okay? What you will not learn here, making games. Because to tell you the truth, there is no simple way to learn how to make games, especially without already knowing programming. No, like seriously, don't get your fucking hopes up. You're not making the next Undertale. Especially if you're not... Let me do that again. If you're looking at basic programming tutorials, you will also not learn how to hack here. You're not hacking into the fucking Pentagon here, okay? Not yet, at least, okay? We'll get to that. You're also not gonna make the next Facebook, except that you're a one-man army and that you cannot do the things a billion-dollar company does. In today's episode, we're gonna go over a few basic programming shebangs to get started. Installing shit, console.log, variables and types, and naming things. Cause you can't just call random things Jessica and then expect to remember what the fuck Jessica does. If any Jessicas are watching, hi. What the fuck do you do? Anyway, things you will need. You will need Visual Studio Code or VS Code. You will need a browser, and you might need mental support. And trust me, you're gonna want that last one, cause God forbid I gotta talk to my dement neighbor about why my code is not working. Anyway, first things first, you're gonna want to install VS Code. There's a link in the description, and if not, just look at your fucking screen, it's probably right there right now. On the side, you will see multiple download links, so choose the right one for your operating system. I'm sure I don't gotta help you with choosing, cause honestly, if you don't know what your OS is, then I think you need to get your priorities straight before learning to code. Anyway, when it's downloaded, click install, run the installer, and open Visual Studio. Okay, so now that we almost have our project set up, we just gotta do one more thing, and that is basically having the scripts be linked to the HTML file. Now, since this is a programming tutorial, I will not be dabbling in HTML, and if I am, I'm just gonna link whatever the fuck you need in like the description or whatever, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. But First, we're gonna use script source, so just follow what I'm doing on the screen. You link your script to the HTML file, and then boom, you have set up your project. Okay, so now that we got a project set up, welcome to Purgatory. First things we're gonna do is learn you the typical boring hello world shit. Now you may ask, why are we doing this? Because I'm sure you have done this like a billion fucking times with a billion other tutorials. Shh, quiet, be quiet, shush. Reason is easy. It's practically tradition and a great source of dopamine since this cannot go wrong, and you will come to know that this is the only time. So since we are using JavaScript for this tutorial, meet console.log. Console.log is the most explanatory thing here, but just in case you don't know, this is used to log things to the console. Why would you want this? Imagine your code is a billion lines long and something goes horribly wrong. Well, console.log is your best friend, your savior, your debugging buddy. We'll talk more about debugging later, don't worry. Anyway, just follow me with this and just type in whatever I'm typing on the screen right now, and you can already congratulate yourself on your first line of code. Yay is you! But don't celebrate too early just yet. Now we actually gotta run the code. Now you may be asking yourself, how does one run the code? Easy! On the top left of VSCode, you will see a run button. Click it, and boom, your shit is running. And now, if you hit F12 and go to the console part of your fucking browser, I don't know which one you're using, preferably Google or Firefox, I don't know, I don't care, do what you want. You will now see the beautiful words of Hello World printed out there. Now, does it have to be the text Hello World? Of course not, silly. You have free will. Put anything in there. No, seriously, this was the shit me and my buddies back in class would genuinely laugh at for hours. We really are simple creatures. Now, this part is super easy, okay? This is about comments. Comments, you know, they're just comments. It can be anything you want, whether it's actually explaining your code or venting about your ex-wife taking the kids. Please give my kids back. You can add anything. You can add literally anything. Okay, so now that we got comments down and we got the console log thingy down, let's talk about variables. Now, what is a variable? It's not that easy, but it really is easy, but like, just bear with me, okay? These are like your first blocks of coding. You literally cannot do anything without them, sorta, kinda. So what is a variable, right? A variable is like a box. And you might wonder,
what's in the box? What's in the fucking box? Give me the gun.
Right. You put something in the box and the computer just keeps it. Like emotional baggage, but like useful. You can store basically anything in there. Numbers, words, truth, lies. We'll get into that. But you gotta know, your computer is fucking stupid. So you have to tell him,
what's in the fucking box?
Because if you say there's an apple in the box and it like opens the box and it's a banana, it will have a mental breakdown. Just like me, for real. Instantly. Just error, gone, dead. You need to get a new computer. So we have this useful thing we call types. Types tells the computer what's in the box. But, you know, there's like a billion types and I don't want to like overwhelm you and all that shit. For now, you only need these three. We got int, which is numbers, string, which is text, and bool, or booleans, or whatever you want to fucking call them. That's true or false. That's it. That's your box system. Right there. There you go. You got your boxes. I hope you have a lot of boxes. You're gonna need them. Anyway, congratulations. You're coding. Now, you can store shit, and that's cool and all, but you may ask, well, what can we do with these? Basically, you can take these variables and tell your computer to run something like console.log, But instead of adding the text yourself, you can, for example, use the string you made and put it in there instead. Same goes for the int variable and the boolean. So for the last part, we're gonna talk about naming variables. As you may have already picked up on, whatever you name the variable is how we recall the variable. You don't need to specify what type it is or what's in it. You just say the name and the computer does the rest. Pretty cool. However, let's say you got a billion variables, and it's only inevitable that you will, by the way. You should always make sure to name the variable something good so you don't have to go and look back at the variable to see what it does. Trust me, I used to name things badly all the time, and it was not a fun time. I will probably show you an example of the shit I was up to 3 years ago. And there you have it, your first programming tutorial where you may actually have learned something useful about programming. If you've made it this far, I am so proud of you, cause I'm sure if you're as fatherless as me, nobody has told you that yet. Anyway, part 2 coming soon. Maybe. Like and subscribe, or don't, I really don't fucking care. Leave a comment and I'll be sure to reply. Liar. But hey, that's all the time I've got. I gotta go back to playing Tomodachi Life on the Nintendo 3DS.